The afternoon rain created a gentle rhythm against the windows of the quiet corner, a small cafe tucked between a bookstore and a flower shop on Maple Street. Lucy wiped down the counter with practiced movements, her fingers trailing along the edge to ensure she missed no spots. She had memorized every inch of this place during her 3 years working here, 23 steps from the door to the counter, 15 more to the back room. The espresso machine hummed 2 feet to her left. Someone entered. The bell chimed and cool air rushed in carrying the scent of wet pavement. Heavy footsteps, deliberate and measured, not the usual shuffle of her regular customers. "Welcome to the quiet corner," Lucy said, turning toward the door. "Would you like to sit or are you ordering to go?" There was a pause. Lucy heard breathing, deeper than human normal but steady. "Calm. I will sit," a voice replied. The accent was strange, formal, like someone who had learned English from old books, by the window if possible. "Third booth on your right," Lucy said, pointing. "I'll be over in a moment to take your order." She heard him move across the room. His footsteps were oddly quiet for someone who seemed large based on his voice. Lucy prepared herself mentally, running through the menu in her head. After 5 minutes, she picked up her notepad and walked toward the booth, counting steps automatically. "What can I get for you?" she asked, stopping at what she knew was the perfect distance from the table. "You move with remarkable precision," the stranger said. "You counted your steps, yet you seem to know exactly where everything is without sight." Lucy smiled. "People usually took longer to notice. I've been blind since I was 7. You learn to build maps in your mind. Sound, touch, smell. They tell you more than you'd think." "Now what would you like?" "Your people's coffee," he said. Black, no additions, your people. An odd way to phrase it, but Lucy had heard stranger things. 1 black coffee coming up. She returned to the counter and began preparing the drink. The stranger said nothing, but she could hear him breathing, steady and calm. No phone sounds. No laptop clicking. He simply sat. When she brought his coffee, she placed it carefully on the table. "Here you are. Let me know if you need anything else." "Why do you not ask?" he said. Lucy paused. "Ask what?" "About my appearance." Others stare. They whisper. "But you brought me coffee as though I were anyone else." Lucy shrugged. "I can't see you, so I don't know what you look like. Doesn't really matter to me. You sound polite, you said thank you, and you're not making a mess. That's all I need to know." Silence. Then quietly, "I see. Or rather, I do not see as you do not." "Is there something unusual about how you look?" Lucy asked, curious now. "Very unusual by local standards." "Well," Lucy said, "I judge people by how they treat others, not what they look like. Makes life simpler." She heard something that might have been a laugh, low and warm. Simple, yes, I had forgotten simple. Over the next hour, the stranger sat in silence. Lucy served her other customers, an elderly couple and a college student working on homework. When closing time approached, she heard the stranger rise. "I will return tomorrow," he said, "if that is acceptable. It's a cafe. You're always welcome." He left and Lucy locked the door behind the last customer. Her coworker Beth emerged from the back. "That guy in the corner booth was super weird looking," Beth said. "Was he?" Lucy asked, rinsing cups. "Yeah, tall, really tall. And he was wearing this long coat with a hood, but I swear I saw his hands. They didn't look right. Too many fingers or something. Did he cause trouble?" "No, then who cares?" Beth laughed. "Only you would not care, Lucy." But Lucy did care in a way. There was something about the stranger's voice. Lonely. Tired. Old, despite sounding middle-aged. She wondered what brought someone like that to a small cafe in an unremarkable part of town. The next day, the stranger returned. "Same time, same booth, black coffee?" Lucy asked when she approached. "You remember." "I remember all my regulars." "What should I call you?" Another pause. "Aldrich, nice to meet you, Aldrich." "I'm Lucy, I know. Your coworker said your name yesterday." This time when Lucy brought his coffee, Aldrich spoke. "Tell me, Lucy, how do you experience this world without sight?" Lucy sat down across from him without asking. Something told her he wanted company more than service. "I experience it differently. I hear things others miss. The hum of electricity in the walls. The change in air pressure when someone opens a door. I feel vibrations through the floor that tell me how many people are in the room and where they are. I smell rain coming before it arrives. You are more aware than most who can see?" "Maybe." Or maybe everyone could be this aware if they paid attention. Most people are too distracted by what they see. A profound observation, Aldrich said softly. They talked for 20 minutes. Aldrich asked about her life, her work, her interests. Lucy found herself telling him about her small apartment, her love for music, her collection of textured fabrics that she used to make abstract art. Art without sight, Aldrich mused. I would like to see this. I could describe it to you, Lucy offered. I would like that very much. When Aldrich left, Lucy realized she had smiled more in one afternoon than she had in weeks. There was something deeply genuine about him. No pity, no awkwardness, just interest. Outside, hidden across the street, General Torin watched through scanning equipment. His emperor, the ruler of 4,000 worlds, sat in a human cafe talking to a blind girl about fabric art. This was either the wisest thing Aldrich had done in his 500-year reign, or the most foolish. Torin suspected it might be both. 3 weeks had passed since Aldrich first entered the quiet corner, and he had not missed a single day. Lucy found herself looking forward to his visits, though looking was perhaps the wrong word. She found herself listening for the particular weight of his footsteps, the careful way he opened the door as though afraid to break it. You're early today, Lucy said when the bell chimed at 2 instead of 3. You can tell time by sound? Aldrich asked, settling into his usual booth. The lunch rush ends around 1:30. The bookstore next door gets deliveries at 2:15 every Tuesday. I hear the truck pull up. You usually arrive between them. Today you're here before the truck. Extraordinary, Aldrich murmured. Your mind builds patterns from fragments. Lucy brought his coffee without being asked. Everyone's mind does that. I just use different fragments. What made you come early? I wanted more time, he said simply. Lucy smiled and sat across from him. Beth was in the back doing inventory and the cafe was empty. More time for what? To understand? Yesterday you mentioned music. You said you feel it rather than just hear it. I put my hands on speakers, Lucy explained. The vibrations travel through my body. Different frequencies feel different. Bass feels like thunder in your chest. High notes feel sharp, quick. I can feel the emotion in music without hearing the words. And this brings you joy, immense joy. Don't you feel that way about something? Aldrich was quiet for a long moment. I had forgotten how to feel joy in small things. My life is filled with weight, decisions that affect billions. Every choice carries consequence. There is no room for simple pleasure. That sounds exhausting, Lucy said gently. What do you do? Some kind of important job? You could say that. I manage many people across many places. A CEO or something? Something like that. Lucy reached across the table and found Aldrich's hand. She had done this before with customers who seemed sad. A simple human gesture of comfort. But when her fingers touched his skin, she paused. His hand was not like human hands. The texture was smooth but not quite like skin. Cool. And there were too many fingers. She counted 5, then a 6th, smaller one near the wrist. You're definitely not from around here, Lucy said, not pulling away. Aldrich's breath caught. You are not afraid. Why would I be afraid? You've been nothing but kind. So you have 6 fingers. I have a friend with 6 toes. Bodies come in all types. Most of your kind would not see it so simply. Maybe that's their loss, Lucy said. She squeezed his hand gently before letting go. Tell me about where you're from. And Aldrich did. He told her about cities that floated on gas clouds, about planets with 3 suns that never truly set, about ships that sailed between stars like boats on an ocean. He spoke carefully, never mentioning the Empire, never revealing his true role, but his voice carried wonder as he described worlds beyond Earth. Lucy listened, fascinated. It must be beautiful. It is. But also complicated. My people are old, Lucy. Ancient. We have technology that seems like magic. We have solved problems your world still struggles with. But we have lost something in all that advancement. What did you lose? The ability to see worth in things that are imperfect. We seek efficiency, perfection, control. We look at developing worlds and see primitives. We forget that wisdom is not the same as knowledge. That strength comes in forms we do not measure. Lucy nodded slowly. You're talking about Earth, about humans. Yes. Do you think we're primitive? 3 weeks ago I would have said yes, Aldrich admitted. My people have watched your world for generations. We see your violence, your inequality, your struggles. We see a species still learning to walk, but then I met you. I'm just one person, You are blind, yet you see more clearly than those with perfect vision. You have faced a challenge that would break many, yet you have built a rich life. You find joy in vibration and texture. You judge beings by character rather than appearance. You represent something my people have forgotten: adaptation, resilience, growth through adversity. Lucy felt her cheeks warm. I'm not special. Lots of people deal with challenges. Precisely. Your entire species is built on overcoming limitation. You should not have survived on this world. No natural weapons, no thick hide, no venom. Yet you climbed to the top through intelligence and cooperation. That is extraordinary. Now you sound like one of those inspirational posters, Lucy teased. Aldrich laughed, a genuine sound that made Lucy smile. Perhaps I do, but I mean it. You have reminded me of something important. Before Lucy could ask what, Beth called from the back. Lucy, can you help me with the inventory? Lucy stood reluctantly. I should go help. But Aldrich, yes, thank you. For seeing humans as more than primitive, that means something. When Lucy went to the back, Aldrich sat alone with his coffee. Across the street, General Torrin watched with growing concern. The Emperor was changing. His advisors had noticed. His speeches to the council had shifted in tone. He questioned policies that had stood for centuries, and all because of a human girl who could not even see him. Torrin's communication device buzzed, a message from the Imperial flagship in orbit. The council demanded Aldrich's return. There were treaty negotiations, military decisions, economic policies requiring Imperial approval. His absence was causing delays. Torrin sent a response. The Emperor was engaged in crucial research regarding primitive species integration. He would return when the research was complete. It was not entirely a lie. Aldrich was learning something important here, something that might change how the Empire viewed thousands of developing worlds. Torrin just hoped that something was worth the risk. Inside the cafe, Lucy finished helping Beth and returned to find a small package on the table where Aldrich had been sitting. A note in textured letters made for blind reading said simply, "For someone who experiences the world through touch. A gift from far away." Lucy opened it carefully. Inside was an object unlike anything she had felt before. It was small, fitting in her palm, and covered in patterns that seemed to shift under her fingers. When she pressed one particular groove, the object hummed, sending vibrations through her hand in patterns that felt almost like music. She smiled, holding the gift close. Across the city, in a hotel room that cost more for one night than Lucy made in a month, Aldrich stood by the window looking at stars. He had given her a memory crystal from his homeworld, a child's toy that stored emotions in vibrational patterns. For the first time in a century, he had given someone a gift simply because it would make them happy. It was a small thing, but small things, he was learning, mattered most. The community center smelled like fresh paint and sawdust. Lucy navigated the exhibition space with one hand trailing along the wall, feeling for the displays she had helped set up. The tactile art show had been her idea, a way to share how she experienced creativity. Paintings with textured surfaces, sculptures meant to be touched, music played through speakers embedded in the floor. "This is remarkable," Aldrich said beside her. He had arrived early before the other guests at Lucy's invitation. "You can actually touch everything here," Lucy explained, guiding him to the first piece. "This one is called Ocean Memory. Feel here." She placed his hand on a canvas covered in layers of dried paint, sand, and shells. The surface rose and fell like waves. Aldrich's 6 fingers traced the pattern slowly. "I can feel the motion." The artist captured movement in stillness. "That's exactly right. The artist is blind too." She went to the beach and collected these materials, then arranged them by memory. She can't see the ocean, but she knows it. They moved through the exhibition together. Lucy described each piece not by what it looked like, but by what it felt like, what it meant. Aldrich listened and touched and seemed to understand in a way that surprised even Lucy. "Your species creates beauty even when you cannot perceive it in traditional ways," Aldrich said quietly. "You adapt your art to match your abilities. This is not limitation. This is evolution." "Now you're making it sound too profound," Lucy laughed. "We just wanted to make art we could enjoy." That simplicity is what makes it profound. Other people began arriving. Lucy heard their voices, felt the change in air as the room filled. She had invited friends, other artists, people from the community who supported the exhibition. Beth was here somewhere handling the refreshments. Then Lucy heard something that made her pause. Whispers. The kind of whispers that came when people saw something unusual. "Is everything okay?" she asked Aldrich. "People are staring," he said calmly. "I am used to it. What are they seeing?" My hood slipped back slightly. "They can see more of my face than I usually allow in public." Lucy wanted to ask more, but someone approached. A man's voice, slurred slightly with alcohol. "What the hell is that thing?" "Excuse me?" Lucy turned toward the voice. "That thing you're with, what is it? Some kind of costume, makeup?" Lucy felt Aldrich tense beside her. "He is my friend," Lucy said firmly. "And he's a guest here." "Friend? It's got scales and too many fingers. I can see them from here. What, is this some kind of freak show?" Before Lucy could respond, Aldrich spoke. His voice had changed entirely. Gone was the gentle, curious tone she knew. This voice carried absolute authority, cold and commanding. "You will leave now." The temperature in the room seemed to drop. Lucy felt Aldrich move just slightly, but his presence suddenly felt enormous, powerful. Even the drunk man seemed to sense it, because his footsteps stumbled backward. "Whatever. Freak," the man muttered, but he left quickly. Silence hung in the room. Lucy reached out and found Aldrich's arm. "Are you okay?" "I apologize," Aldrich said, his voice returning to normal. "I should not have reacted so strongly." "You defended yourself." "That's allowed. But for a second there, you sounded like someone used to being obeyed." "Old habits," Aldrich said quietly. They continued through the exhibition, but something had shifted. Lucy could feel it in how Aldrich moved, more carefully, more guarded. Finally, as they stood in front of the last piece, Lucy spoke. "Who are you really, Aldrich?" "What do you mean?" "You talk about other worlds like you've been to them. You give me gifts made from materials that don't exist on Earth. You carry yourself like someone important, even though you try to hide it. And just now you gave a command like someone who expects instant obedience. So who are you?" Aldrich was silent for a long moment. Around them, other visitors admired the art, unaware of the conversation happening in the corner. "I want to tell you," Aldrich said finally, "but I fear it will change everything between us. Try me. Not here. Tonight. Meet me at the cafe after you close. I will tell you everything." "You deserve the truth," Lucy nodded. "Okay, tonight." The rest of the exhibition passed in a blur. Lucy tried to focus on the other guests, on explaining the art, but her mind kept returning to Aldrich's words. What secret could change everything? Was he dangerous? She didn't think so. Despite his moment of authority, he had never made her feel unsafe. When the exhibition ended, Beth drove Lucy back to the cafe for the evening shift. "That tall guy is seriously weird," Beth said. "I mean, I'm not trying to be rude, but Lucy, he's definitely not human." "I know. You know? And you're okay with that?" "Why wouldn't I be?" Beth laughed. "Only you, Lucy. Only you would befriend an alien and not think it's weird." But it was weird, Lucy thought as she worked through the evening shift. Aliens were supposed to be fantasy, or at least far away. Not sitting in cafes drinking black coffee and asking about human art. When closing time came, Lucy locked the front door and waited. Right at 9, she heard Aldrich's distinctive footsteps outside. She let him in. "Thank you for meeting me," he said. "You said you'd tell me the truth." "I will. But first, I need you to understand something. I have not lied to you, Lucy. I have simply omitted details. Everything I have said about enjoying your company, about learning from you, about valuing our friendship, that is all true." "Okay," Lucy said, sitting at a table. "So tell me the details you omitted." Aldrich sat across from her. She heard him take a deep breath. "I am not from Earth, you have guessed that much. I am from a species called the Therine. We have been traveling between stars for longer than your civilization has existed. We have an empire that spans thousands of worlds, billions of beings, multiple species, and I rule that empire. I am its emperor." Lucy sat very still. "You're an emperor?" "Yes." "Of thousands of worlds?" "Yes." "And you've been coming to a cafe on Earth for 3 weeks to drink coffee and talk to me about music and art?" "Yes." Lucy started laughing. She couldn't help it. The absurdity of it all, the sheer impossibility, hit her all at once. "An emperor? You're an actual emperor and you come here for coffee." "You are not afraid," Aldrich said, sounding surprised. "Should I be?" "Most would be." Lucy reached across the table and found his hand again, the one with 6 fingers. "You're still Aldrich." Still the person who listens to me talk about fabric art and brings me gifts that vibrate in patterns. Being an emperor doesn't change that you're kind. You truly mean that, I do. But I have questions. I will answer them all. Before Lucy could speak, the cafe window exploded inward. Glass shattered across the floor. Lucy screamed and dove under the table. Energy weapons fire lit up the room with sounds like tearing metal. Aldrich's voice rang out in that commanding tone again, shouting words in a language Lucy did not recognize. More energy fire, crashes. The sound of bodies hitting walls, then silence. Lucy, are you hurt? Aldrich was beside her, his hands checking her carefully for injuries. What was that? Enemies. They found me. I'm sorry, Lucy, I brought danger to you. Outside, sirens wailed. Police, fire department, ambulances. Lucy heard shouting, confusion, fear. This is because you're an emperor. Yes, there are those who would see me dead. They tracked me here. Lucy's hand shook, but she forced herself to stay calm. Are they gone? My guards subdued them. But Lucy, this changes everything. Earth's authorities will have questions. My presence here can no longer remain secret. In the distance, Lucy heard helicopters. More voices. The situation was growing. What happens now? Lucy asked. Now, Aldrich said softly, your world learns it is not alone in the universe, and I must face the consequences of my selfishness in coming here. Lucy squeezed his hand. It wasn't selfish to want a friend. Perhaps not, but it may have cost your world its innocence. Military vehicles surrounded the quiet corner by the time Lucy and Aldrich emerged from the ruined cafe. Soldiers shouted commands. Helicopters circled overhead, their rotors chopping the night air into chaos. Lucy clutched Aldrich's arm, overwhelmed by the noise and confusion. Stay close to me, Aldrich said. You are under my protection. A commanding voice cut through the chaos. This is the United States military. All parties are to remain still and await instruction. They cannot command me, Aldrich said, not loudly, but with absolute certainty. Then raising his voice, he spoke in English. I am Emperor Aldrich of the Therine Empire. I request immediate contact with your highest governmental authorities. We have much to discuss. Lucy heard weapons being raised, safeties clicking off. Her heart pounded. This was insane. This was impossible. Yesterday, her biggest worry was remembering to reorder coffee beans. General Torrin, Aldrich called out. Bring the diplomatic vessel. We will need a neutral meeting ground. A new voice responded, deeper, with that same strange accent as Aldrich. Yes, my emperor. Initiating contact protocols with Earth's governments now. Within minutes, a low humming filled the air. Lucy felt vibrations in her bones, a sensation unlike anything she had experienced. Something massive was descending from above. What is that? She whispered. My ship, Aldrich said. Well, one of them. Do not be afraid, but Lucy was afraid. Not of Aldrich, but of what came next. Everything was changing too fast. The entire world was about to learn what she had known for weeks. They were not alone. The next hours passed in a blur. Lucy was taken aboard the ship where gravity felt slightly wrong and the air tasted of metal and ozone. Aldrich never left her side. His guards, the same beings who had protected them during the attack, kept everyone else at a distance. Emperor, the Earth leaders are gathering, General Torrin reported. They demand explanations. They are afraid. As they should be, Aldrich replied. Their reality has shattered tonight. But we will give them truth, not comfort. Lucy, will you come with me to meet them? Me? Why would they want to meet me? Because you represent what I have been trying to explain to my own people. You represent humanity's potential. If they see you beside me, they will understand I mean no harm. Lucy wanted to refuse. She was not a diplomat. She was a barista who made coffee and created texture art. But something in Aldrich's voice told her this mattered. Okay, she said. I'll come. The meeting took place in a hastily arranged video conference. Lucy sat beside Aldrich in what he called the diplomatic chamber. She could not see the screens showing world leaders, but she could hear their voices, frightened, angry, demanding. The President of the United States spoke first. You've been on our world for weeks. You attacked our citizens. Incorrect, Aldrich replied calmly. I visited your world as a private individual seeking respite from my duties. My enemies attacked. My guards defended. No humans were harmed by my people. Why are you here at all? Another voice asked, European accent, possibly British. To learn. Your species is under what we call protected status. We have monitored your development for 3,000 of your years. We do not interfere with protected species, but we observe. I wish to observe more closely. Observe us? Like animals in a zoo? The Chinese premier sounded furious. Lucy felt Aldrich shift beside her. Not animals. Developing civilizations. Every species in the galaxy begins somewhere. Most do not survive their early stages. They destroy themselves through war, environmental collapse, or technological disaster. We watch to see which species overcome these challenges. Those who do may join the greater community. And if we don't, this voice was Russian, then you continue developing on your own until you either succeed or fail. We do not interfere either way. That's cold, Lucy said quietly. Everyone went silent. Lucy realized she had spoken into what was probably a room full of world leaders. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Who is this? The American president asked. This is Lucy Chen, Aldrich said. A human citizen who befriended me without knowing my identity. She is why I am proposing a change to our policy regarding Earth. What change? Multiple voices asked at once. I propose Earth be evaluated for provisional membership in the galactic community, not as a protected species but as a candidate for full participation. The silence that followed was deafening. Finally, someone laughed. You can't be serious. We barely have sustainable spaceflight. We still have wars. We're nowhere near ready for something like that. By technological standards, correct, Aldrich agreed. But technology is not the only measure of advancement. Lucy, tell them what you told me about how humans see the world. Lucy swallowed hard. I'm blind. I've been blind most of my life. And I told Aldrich that humans adapt. We face challenges and find ways to overcome them. We create beauty even when we can't see it. We build meaning from limitation. We don't give up. That's a nice sentiment, someone said dismissively. But it doesn't change that we're primitive compared to you. You are technologically younger, Aldrich corrected. But you possess qualities that many advanced species have lost. Adaptability, emotional depth, creativity in the face of limitation. Your art, your music, your literature explores concepts that species 10 times your age have forgotten how to express. Your diversity, which you see as weakness, is actually a strength. You solve problems in ways more homogeneous species cannot imagine. This is absurd, another leader said. You're basing galactic policy on meeting one blind girl in a cafe? I am basing it on seeing humanity through eyes unclouded by preconception. Aldrich replied, his voice hardening. For too long, my empire has judged species solely on technological achievement. We have dismissed countless civilizations as unworthy, because they had not reached arbitrary standards. I spent 3 weeks among humans and I learned more about true advancement than I have in centuries of rule. If one blind human can teach an emperor humility, what might your entire species teach the galaxy? Lucy felt tears on her cheeks. She had not realized how much Aldrich had truly learned from their friendship. What would this membership mean? The American president sounded cautious now. Thoughtful. You would have access to some of our technology, medical advances, environmental restoration, energy solutions. In exchange, you would open diplomatic relations. Accept advisors who would help you navigate galactic politics, and you would contribute to the community. Your art, your perspectives, your unique approaches to problem solving. And if we refuse, then nothing changes. We continue monitoring, you continue developing, but I believe you are ready for more. The attack tonight proves that my presence here has already compromised your protected status. We can no longer pretend you are ignorant of galactic reality. We must move forward one way or another. The leaders conferred among themselves. Lucy listened to the murmur of voices, arguments in multiple languages, fear and excitement mixing together. Finally, the American president spoke. We need time. This is too much to decide in one night. Agreed, Aldrich said. I will remain in orbit. Lucy will be returned to her home safely. Take 1 week. Discuss among yourselves. Consult your people. Then we will meet again and you will give me your answer. After the call ended, Aldrich turned to Lucy. You were perfect. I barely said anything. You said enough. You reminded them that humanity's strength is not in what you have, but in who you are. Lucy smiled weakly. I want to go home. This has been the strangest day of my life. I will take you personally, Aldrich promised. As they left the chamber, General Torrin approached. My Emperor, the Council is demanding your return. They are furious about your unauthorized proposal. Let them be furious, Aldrich said. For the first time in 500 years, I am doing something that matters. They can wait. Lucy squeezed Aldrich's hand. Whatever happened next, at least she had helped her friend find purpose again. That felt like enough. Lucy's life became chaos overnight. News organizations camped outside her apartment building. Government officials wanted interviews. Scientists asked to study her. Everyone wanted to know about the blind girl who befriended an alien emperor. Beth stayed with her, helping screen calls and visitors. There's another reporter at the door, Beth said tiredly. That makes 15 today. Tell them I'm not talking to anyone, Lucy said. She sat on her couch, her fingers moving over the textured patterns of the gift Aldrich had given her. It still hummed with those strange vibrations, comforting in all this chaos. Lucy, you're famous. Like world famous. There are memes about you. Someone made a movie deal. I don't want to be famous. I just want to make coffee and create art and talk to my friend. Your friend is orbiting the planet in a spaceship. Lucy sighed. I know. Aldrich had kept his promise to give Earth's leaders time. But that meant Lucy had not seen him in 3 days. She missed him. Missed their conversations. Missed feeling like a normal person instead of a curiosity. A knock at the door, different from the others. Beth checked the peephole. It's government people. They have badges. Let them in, Lucy said. If they were here officially, she could not refuse. 2 agents entered, their shoes squeaking on the hardwood floor. Miss Chen, we need you to come with us. The United Nations has requested your presence. Why? The Galactic Council has arrived. They want to meet you. Lucy's stomach dropped. The what? Emperor Aldrich's superiors, apparently. They're not happy about his proposal. They want to evaluate Earth themselves, and they specifically asked to meet you. Within an hour, Lucy was on a military transport heading to New York. She had never flown before. The sensation was terrifying and exhilarating at once. Beth came with her, refusing to let Lucy face this alone. The United Nations building buzzed with activity. Lucy could hear hundreds of voices, smell fear and excitement and sweat. Someone guided her to a special chamber that had been prepared for the meeting. Lucy. Aldrich's voice. She turned toward it, relief flooding through her. You're here. I could not let you face the council alone. He took her hand. I must warn you. They are not kind. They will question you harshly. They believe I have become compromised through emotional attachment to your species. Have you? Yes, Aldrich said simply. But that does not make me wrong. The council arrived with ceremony. Lucy heard their footsteps, different patterns suggesting different body structures. Aldrich had told her the council consisted of 7 species, the oldest and most powerful in the Empire. A voice spoke, translated into English through devices that made it sound mechanical. We are the Council of 7. We have governed the Tharine Empire for 10,000 years. Emperor Aldrich has proposed actions that violate protocols established before your species existed. We are here to determine if his proposal has merit, or if he has indeed been compromised. Another voice, higher pitched. You are the human Lucy Chen? Yes, Lucy said, trying to keep her voice steady. You are blind. Yes. Yet you befriended our emperor without seeing his form. How? Lucy straightened in her chair. I don't judge people by how they look. I judge them by how they treat others. Aldrich was kind. He listened. He respected me. That's all I needed to know. Simple-minded, a third voice said dismissively. This is the human the Emperor believes represents advancement? She represents what we have lost, Aldrich said sharply. The ability to see value beyond surface measurements. You have lost objectivity, the first voice replied. You spend weeks among primitives and suddenly believe they deserve membership in our community. They still war among themselves. They damage their own planet. They have not even unified their own species. And yet they persist, Aldrich argued. They face challenges that would destroy other species and they adapt. They create beauty in the midst of struggle. They form connections across artificial barriers. Lucy is blind, disadvantaged by any biological measure, yet she has built a meaningful existence. This is the pattern across humanity. Limitation breeds innovation. Or it breeds weakness, another council member said. We should demonstrate why they are not ready. Human, you claim to judge by character. Can you judge us? We are 7 members. Tell us which of us is trustworthy. Lucy felt ice in her stomach. This was a test she could not pass. She could not see them, could barely distinguish their voices, But then she thought about what Aldrich had taught her. About listening deeper. You, she said, pointing toward the first voice. You speak with authority, but also fear. You're afraid Aldrich is right, that your policies have been wrong. You're trustworthy because you doubt yourself. Silence, Lucy continued, pointing to each council member as she spoke. You're angry at Aldrich for challenging tradition, but your anger comes from love for him, not hatred of humans. You want to protect him from making mistakes. You're trustworthy because you care. You mock us with guesses, one voice said. No, Lucy replied. I listen to how you speak. Your breathing patterns, the pauses between words, emotions color everything. Even voices run through translation devices. You're all trustworthy because you genuinely want to make the right decision. You're just afraid of what right means. More silence. Then surprisingly laughter from multiple council members. She has spirit, one said. Perhaps there is something to this species after all. Spirit is not enough, another countered. We must see proof of advancement. Human, answer this. Your species has offered technology to cure disease and hunger, reverse environmental damage. But accepting means following our rules, joining our systems, losing some autonomy. Do you accept? Lucy thought carefully. That's not my decision to make. I'm one person. Humanity should decide together. But if you could decide, I would say no. The room erupted in voices. Aldrich's hand tightened on hers. Explain, the first council member demanded. If you give us everything, we won't learn how to achieve it ourselves. We'll become dependent. You said it yourself. Technology isn't the only measure of advancement. If we skip the struggle, we skip the growth. We need to earn our place, not be given it. You would refuse help? A council member sounded genuinely confused. I would refuse being made into children, Lucy said. Offer us knowledge, not solutions. Teach us, don't rescue us. Let us prove we can rise on our own merit. Then when we stand beside you, it will be as equals, not pets. Aldrich laughed, a joyous sound. You see? This is what I mean. Wisdom that comes from struggle. She understands what many advanced species have forgotten. True strength is earned, not inherited. The council members conferred in their own languages. Lucy sat quietly, exhausted by the emotional intensity of the conversation. Finally, the first voice spoke again. Emperor Aldrich, we have decided. Earth will be granted provisional candidate status, not membership. Not full access, but recognition that they may in time be worthy of joining us. We will establish an embassy. We will offer educational exchanges. But Earth must develop primarily on their own. We will observe their progress over the next century. A century? Lucy asked. That's longer than a human lifetime. Yes, the voice said. By our standards, it is nothing. By yours, it is several generations. This is intentional. If your species maintains growth and development across multiple generations, it proves stability. We have seen too many species rise quickly and fall faster. I accept these terms, Aldrich said formally. On behalf of the Empire, I recognize Earth as a provisional candidate species. After the council departed, Aldrich pulled Lucy into an embrace. You were magnificent. You impressed beings who have lived for thousands of years. I just told them the truth, Lucy said, her voice muffled against his chest. The truth is often the most powerful weapon. Lucy pulled back. What happens now? You have to leave, don't you? Yes, I have been away from my duties too long. But I will return, Lucy, I promise. And in the meantime, I am leaving General Torrin here to oversee the embassy. He will ensure humans are treated fairly. Will I see you again? As often as I can manage. You are my friend, Lucy. The truest friend I have had in centuries. I will not abandon that. They stood together in silence, holding on to a moment that could not last. Finally, Aldrich stepped back. There is one more thing, he said. The Council has offered to restore your sight. Our medical technology can do this easily. Lucy shook her head. I told you before. Being blind is part of who I am. It taught me to see the world differently. Without it, I would never have met you as just Aldrich. I would have seen the Emperor first. You are certain? I'm certain. Aldrich touched her face gently. Then I will see you as you are, Lucy Chen, the human who taught an emperor how to be human. 6 months passed like water through fingers. The world had changed in ways both obvious and subtle. A galactic embassy stood in Geneva, a building that seemed to shift and shimmer in ways that defied conventional architecture. General Torrin and his staff worked there, meeting with human diplomats and scientists daily. Technology trickled into human hands slowly, carefully, always with the caveat that humans must understand it before they could use it. Lucy returned to something resembling normal life, though normal would never mean what it once did. The quiet corner had been rebuilt, bigger now, with a section specifically designed for interspecies gatherings. Humans and aliens mingled there daily, the cafe becoming a symbol of peaceful coexistence. Lucy poured coffee for a Therine diplomat, her hands moving through practiced motions. Black 2 sugars. Your memory is impressive as always, Lucy Chen, the diplomat said in accented English. I remember all my regulars, Lucy replied with a smile. The bell chimed. Lucy's heart jumped at the familiar weight of the footsteps that followed. Hello, Lucy, Aldrich said. You're early, Lucy said, trying to hide how happy she was. You said next week? I rearranged my schedule. Some things are more important than council meetings. Lucy wanted to rush over and hug him, but there were customers watching. She settled for a wide smile. Your usual table? Actually, I was hoping you might have time to walk with me. I want to show you something. Beth appeared from the back room. Go, I can handle the afternoon rush. Lucy untied her apron and came around the counter. Aldrich offered his arm and she took it, feeling the familiar texture of his skin through his sleeve. They walked through the city, Aldrich describing the changes that had occurred. Buildings being retrofitted with technology that made them more efficient. Parks where human and alien children played together, learning from each other. The gradual, careful integration of 2 civilizations. Earth has impressed the Council, Aldrich said. Your scientists are not simply copying our technology. They are asking why it works, challenging assumptions, proposing improvements. Some of their ideas are actually innovative. That's good, right? That is extraordinary. Most species simply accept what we give them. Humans question everything. It is frustrating and wonderful at the same time. They arrived at a new building Lucy had heard about but never visited. The school Aldrich had funded, designed specifically for teaching interspecies understanding. I wanted you to see this, Aldrich said, guiding her inside. The building hummed with energy. Lucy heard voices, human and alien, speaking in mixture of languages. Children laughed. Someone played music that blended Earth instruments with alien tones. What is this place exactly? Lucy asked. It is called the Institute for Perceptual Understanding. I named it after our conversations. After what you taught me about seeing beyond sight. Here, humans and aliens learn to understand each other not through similarity, but through difference. Aldrich led her to a classroom where a human teacher was explaining color to a group of alien students who saw in completely different spectrums. In another room, an alien instructor taught human children how to navigate by echolocation. In this room, Aldrich said, stopping at a doorway, I want you to meet someone. They entered, and Lucy heard movement. Small footsteps. Lucy Chen, a young voice asked. Human, female, probably about 10 years old. That's me, Lucy said. I'm Amy. I'm blind too. They told me you were coming. You're like super famous, Lucy laughed. I'm just someone who made a friend. But you met the Emperor before anyone knew about aliens. And you didn't care that he was different. That's so cool. Being different isn't bad, Lucy said gently. It's just different. That's what they teach us here, Amy said excitedly. That everyone experiences the world their own way and no way is wrong. They have this whole class where you try to understand how other species sense things. Like there's a species that sees in heat instead of light, and one that hears colors. It's amazing, Aldrich spoke quietly. There are 50 students here now. 30 human, 20 alien. They are the first generation to grow up truly understanding we are not alone. What they learn here will shape the next century of human development. Lucy felt tears forming. You built this because of me? I built this because you showed me it was needed. The Council measures advancement in technology and resources, but true advancement is understanding. You understood that instinctively. Now we teach it deliberately. They spent an hour at the Institute. Lucy talked with students, both human and alien. She touched the learning materials designed for tactile education. She listened to music that merged Earth and alien traditions. It was overwhelming and beautiful. When they finally left, walking back toward the cafe in the evening light, Lucy spoke. You've changed the Empire, haven't you? I have tried, Aldrich said. I have proposed new evaluation criteria for developing species. Not just technological achievement, but cultural richness, adaptability, emotional intelligence. The Council resists, but slowly they are listening. I have you to thank for that. All I did was be myself, exactly. And being yourself challenged everything I thought I knew about civilization and progress. Do you know what the council calls my new policies? What? Lucy's Law. They mean it mockingly, but I have embraced the name. Lucy's Law states that no species shall be judged solely on technological advancement. That worth exists in many forms. That limitation can breed innovation. That seeing differently is not seeing wrongly. Lucy stopped walking. You named a law after me? I named a philosophy after you. It is already changing how we interact with dozens of developing worlds. Some will be offered candidate status far earlier than our old criteria would have allowed. Others will be given more time and support. All because one blind human showed an emperor he was looking at the universe wrong. Lucy turned toward Aldrich's voice and reached up to touch his face. She traced the scales she could not see, the ridge above his eyes, the structure of his cheekbones so different from human anatomy. I'm glad I couldn't see you that first day, Lucy said. If I had, I might have been too scared to talk to you. I might have seen the Emperor instead of Aldrich. Sometimes not seeing is the clearest vision of all. Aldrich covered her hand with his. I will remember that. When I return to the capital, when I face the council, when I make decisions that affect billions, I will remember that the wisest person I ever met could not see it all. They stood together as the sun set, casting shadows Lucy could not perceive but could feel in the cooling air. Around them, the city continued its life. Humans and aliens sharing space, learning, growing, building something new together. Will you come back? Lucy asked, as often as I can. The empire is vast and my duties are many. But I will always make time for coffee at the quiet corner. Some traditions are too important to abandon. Good, Lucy said, because I have a lot more to teach you about being human. Aldrich laughed. I look forward to every lesson. Later that night, after Aldrich had returned to orbit and Lucy was back in her apartment, she sat by her window feeling the cool breeze. Beth had gone home. The city outside hummed with its usual nighttime rhythm, though now that rhythm included alien sounds, alien voices, alien music mixing with human life. Her communication device buzzed. A message from Aldrich. In textured letters she could read by touch. Thank you, Lucy, for showing me that the most advanced civilizations are not those with the best technology, but those with the greatest wisdom. Today I proposed a new initiative to the Council. We are creating exchange programs where humans will teach other species about adaptation, resilience, and creative problem-solving. They are calling it the Chen Initiative. The first ambassadors will be humans who have overcome significant challenges. Humans like you have changed not just Earth's future, but the future of 1,000 worlds. Your friend always, Aldrich. Lucy smiled and pressed the message to her chest. She thought about Amy at the Institute, learning to navigate a universe more diverse than she could imagine. She thought about other children, human and alien, who would grow up in a galaxy that valued wisdom over weaponry, understanding over uniformity. She thought about a lonely emperor who had walked into a small cafe looking for something he could not name, and found friendship with someone who could not see him. And she thought that maybe, just maybe, being blind had given her the clearest vision of all. The vision to see that worth was not measured in what you could see, but in how you chose to see it. Outside her window, a ship lifted from the new spaceport, carrying humans to the stars for the first time. Not as conquerors or subjects, but as students and teachers, as friends and equals. The future was unfolding in ways no one could have predicted. And it had all started with a simple question in a quiet cafe. What can I get for you? Sometimes, Lucy thought, the smallest gestures change everything. Sometimes not seeing is the greatest gift of all.